Next on stage is Graham Arvidson, CEO of Australian Vanadium Limited. Graham has 18 years of experience in the mineral sector spanning feasibility, evaluation, successful development, and operation of mineral assets globally and across a broad range of commodities. He has deep experience in vanadium, lithium, nickel, and other battery metals. Over to you.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks for Wayne for showing us his nice legs. I'll save you that for me because I have lanky, long legs. I'd also like to extend my thanks to the broader Diggers and Dealers team. For someone like me, it's such a great privilege to be here. And as a long-suffering Canadian living in Australia for 18 years, I never cease to be amazed by the privilege we have to operate our businesses here in Western Australia and get the benefits and see things like the lithium industry be created from nothing and the great value that's come out of that. So thanks for having me. I'm deeply privileged to be here. I'd also like to thank the AVL team. I've been in the seat 9 months now, and I'm so privileged to work with such a talented, supportive team. And I'd like to single out today, please, the outgoing Managing Director of Australian Vanadium, Vincent Algar. Vince has tirelessly and sometimes thanklessly made sure that the business has been well funded and done the difficult right things to get this business where it is now, which is to have a Tier 1 asset poised to be the world's 4th vanadium primary producer. Thanks, Vince, for all your work, and thank you for supporting me. I hope to make you proud as I carry the business forward with the team. I just want to talk today about why this is a Tier 1 asset and why it might be a wonderful investment opportunity, but I'd like to take a very quick sideline and ask the crowd, is there anyone here like me who is an acolyte of Joe Lowry, the lithium, Mr. Lithium? Any hands? See a couple? Excellent. I'm an acolyte, probably bordering on a stalker of Joe. And interestingly, recently reached out to Joe and asked him if he could come speak to our board at AVL. And probably like you're probably thinking, why would you do that? He's a lithium guy. I've spent the last 4 years in lithium, and I see so many parallels, and I simply asked Joe if he would tell some stories to our board. And subsequently he did, and I think it's a really eye-opening experience to walk through the theme of lithium, which is no shorter than 7 or 8 years ago. This was an area where the market was ceramics and sticky notes and other things. Industry and batteries were really an afterthought, and there was a dearth of capital and true believers. And people like Joe, who believed and continued to push the story along, are really instrumental for me, and it was wonderful to see him tell stories to our board and help us understand where vanadium can go. Usual disclaimers, please read and understand in your own time. So, the Australian Vanadium project, I'd like to think today with an open mind, is this a Tier 1 asset? Why is it a Tier 1 asset? We have a 25-year initial mine life. That is a really serious base plate to jump off of. We have a lowest quartile operating cost, and in the words of someone I really respect most in this world, Daniel Harris, who's on our board, he says, as someone who's run the largest vanadium businesses in the world, if you can have an asset that can produce below $5 a pound, V2O5, you have an asset that will endure sustainably through the downs and the ups of the industry and do well. So I'm very grateful to work for this organization, and in particular, we are lucky to be endowed with such a great asset. We recently completed a BFS that underpins this great asset and sets us on a path to near-term production, and we hope to earn the right as a really experienced vanadium team to be the team that takes it forward and becomes the world's 4th vanadium primary producer. This is a simple pit, open pit operation. We will concentrate vanadium-bearing magnetite near a town called Meekatharra. We will then haul that to the coast, and the 25-year consistent head grade mine life will underpin our remit to build a downstream processing plant and produce high purity V2O5 that can suit the steel, battery, and critical mineral space. We recently were very proud to announce that we formalized an agreement with the federal government wherein we were awarded a $49 million grant, of which we recently received the first $10 million, which puts a wonderful bit of wind in our sails. And beyond just the grant, we have been pursuing relationships and support at all levels of government, including in the past achieving major project status at a federal level and at a West Australian level as well. So we're on track to be the next vanadium producer. So what's happening in the vanadium market? I think this is what could be interesting to everyone. The history of vanadium is a story of steel. Supply and demand have followed the steel market, and previously less than 1% of vanadium has gone into batteries up till 2019. And from 2019 until 2022, that changed to 7% of the global annual market. And as we're standing here now, we're on track this year, we think, to be between 10 and 15% of the market. And the forecasters all consolidate somewhere around 50% of the market being a battery metal by the end of the decade. And as a near-term producer, that's a pretty exciting dynamic and change in the industry that we would love to be a part of. And coming back to Joe Lowry's story, where early movers could be rewarded, the stories we hear from Dale early this week, where grit and determination and some of those projects I was involved in can actually really pay off for shareholders. We're excited to offer that value proposition for those who can get on board and believe. And I'd love to shout out right now as well to the shareholders that have stayed with us to get us where we are, and look forward to bringing you on the journey forward. The vanadium supply side, there's probably one more dynamic that I'd like to highlight, is that 60% of the world's vanadium supply comes from China, a further 15% comes from Russia, and another 10% from South Africa. There is a strong pull factor for jurisdictional diversification in the vanadium industry, even in an ongoing steel dynamic where our asset is highly economic. So where else better than Western Australia to create a new vertically integrated vanadium industry where we have the geological endowment to do so. Here's a quick snapshot. As I said, Meekatharra is where we'd like to build our mine, and I'd just like to quickly shout out to the traditional owners of the land on which we work, the Yaganya people. They are a very busy mob right now, and we really value that they've been taking the time to figure out and find the path to create an enduring and sustainable relationship where we can do business on their land and coexist in harmony and create value for the community. So thank you to them. We will then haul our concentrate, high-grade vanadium concentrate, to the coast near Geraldton. We've thought deeply about this strategy. This is very important. It creates a few important outcomes. One of them is the availability of very commercial gas, expandable gas options that will be the heart of our process. There's a growing hydrogen industry there where green hydrogen will be available to us. There is rail import, and importantly, this enables us to export an iron ore byproduct. And it's also going to create a scenario, we think, where if we get behind the vanadium thematic and understand where it's going to take us, might this be a way that we can unlock regional value? And as one simple example, we are in collaboration with Neometals to figure out, can we create 1 + 1 = 3 with vanadium and titanium-based critical metals opportunities? So why is this all happening? The vanadium battery thematic is a story of vanadium flow batteries. This is a decades-old technology. It's been commercialized for decades. And why now? What's changing? Why are we driving towards 50% penetration? It's because these batteries operate in the 4, 6, 10, and 12-hour range highly economically. And once they're economic, they also bring with them a bunch of technical merits. They will literally warranty these batteries for 25 years with less than 1% degradation. This is really important for energy providers thinking of large installations with long duration. They don't catch on fire, and the list goes on. So there's strong and growing need for different technologies in that space. We think pumped hydro, we think many things need to go into that space, and we're poised to provide some of that storage solution. The BFS was completed just over 12 months ago. $435 million US capex is what we're seeking. We're going to produce about 11,200 tons of vanadium. For reference, that's about 5% of the current global market. Just quickly, what makes our asset unique really is the ore body. It's the geology. There's many kilometers of consistent, thick, high-grade seam of magnetite that we're targeting that has high-grade vanadium. We're able to then underpin the CapEx we need to build a downstream facility because we have that really consistent quality concentrate for our downstream processing. Further downstream, we're currently building and will commission by the end of the year a vanadium electrolyte facility. And why would we be doing this? A, we got a government grant for which we're very grateful for, and thanks to the government. We're in partnership with US Vanadium, who's already supplying the highest purity electrolyte in the world to vanadium flow batteries in America. And we're going to use that technology to learn and grow and be first movers and qualify with battery manufacturers around the world. This is a really important step for us, and we look forward to updating the market accordingly as we successfully commission. Even further upstream, downstream, we want to, I guess, highlight, we have a sub-entity of AVL called VSUN, where the team's been working tirelessly to educate the market about the unique applications where these batteries can be highly techno-economic. And we're very happy to announced recently that Horizon Power has awarded, to the first of our knowledge, a contract for a battery in their network, and they look to expand the applications of that as they learn it. We're increasingly seeing energy providers reach out for tenders on these batteries, and we have personally tendered up to 50 megawatt hour batteries, and it's great to see vanadium flow being taken seriously at a grid level. So where are we at as a project? We finished the DFS. We have completed a large-scale pilot program across our entire flow sheet. This is very robust. We are vanadium people. I've been a production manager, and we have people in our team with 30 to 50 years experience in vanadium. And so this is the team to back. We've been continuously evolving our board and our management team to be the right team who can build a project. People like me who've been on the pointy end of building and operating critical and base metals assets. We've recently received the grant, and we're very proud of that, and an important milestone we recently reached was the award of our water license for the processing facility for the full allocation. We're developing the project in earnest. We're putting the grant to work, and we're doing front-end engineering works. We're continuously pushing onward with all the things we're going to need: gas, power, haulage, port, and looking to find a way we can then leverage long lead items and continue to push the project forward. We're laser focused on offtake, bankable vanadium offtake. As someone who's been in the industry in lithium and learned the hard way that if you have the wrong offtake partner, it's not a good outcome for the business. So we'll take the time we need, but we're very encouraged that we can get bankable, very commercial offtake for the business to move forward on the vanadium front. We also look forward to updating the market as we continue to move toward binding offtake on our iron ore byproduct. We've had a team on the ground for 2 years in China, and we're close to moving forward on that. And then on the debt side, we've been working with our debt advisors for well over a year. We're well progressed on that and talking to all the obvious suspects, and we look forward to updating the market accordingly as our debt side comes into play. So what all that means, we're also in parallel working towards finalizing our approvals, the key one there being the EPA, who we're working very closely with, and we're well and truly down the track with the EPA approvals, so we're looking forward to that. And as I said, again, gratitude to our traditional owners. One of our key things moving forward is to finalize our cultural heritage management plans, continue to do final surveys, and find a way to create the enduring partnership there. So all that means that we would like to start construction, and our ambition is to start construction in 24 and have first production in 2025. In summary, this is a Tier 1 asset. The vanadium industry simply needs an acknowledgement that this demand and supply dynamic is truly changing. And then where might you put your money? Probably in a West Australian jurisdiction, probably somewhere that has a 25-year mine life, and hopefully somewhere that has strategic upside, scalability, the optionality to move fully downstream pit to battery. I think that's a wonderful story. And with the federal grant and other key wins in our sales, we hope to be the world's next primary vanadium producer. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham.